This is my generator. Something is wrong with it. Some flashing red lights from the indicator right here. I'm hoping it's not a starter. Probably the battery is getting old. Inspect battery. And the oil is perfectly clear and on the full. All right, let's test this thing out. The battery charger. And pulled out this fuse, and that killed the battery charger. All right, it's not easy getting the battery out. There's swelling on the casing right here. Here we go. Reset the codes on it. Manual. That's a success. Ready to run. Definitely got to have two hands to do this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Fixing Things. This is my generator. It's a Generac 14 kW. And well, the story goes, something is wrong with it. So on this episode of Fixing Things, we're going to diagnose it. So something happened last Wednesday night when the generator is supposed to do its routine startup for about an hour. And I was up in this window here, and I heard the generator try to start, and it was spinning real slow. It stopped and tried to start again, and I noticed some flashing red lights coming from the indicator right here from watching it up in the window. So the next morning I came out here and it said fail to run or something on the indicator, and it said check battery or something. So I turned it over quite a few times, and the motor finally started, and it was really cranking hard. I'm hoping it's not a starter, but I think we're going to check this out, see what's going on with it. I'm thinking it's probably the battery is getting old. And the reason I say that is because this is the same battery that's been in it since I installed it. So I've been living in the house now for almost 4 years, and we installed this generator for my wife's family, Jack and Betsy, probably 3 years before that. So the battery is a good, I would say, anywhere between 5 to 6 years old. We're going to check it. Right now it is February of 2025, if you're watching this video for the first time. And so we're going to check and see what it is. So let's see what this indicator says. So the indicator says inspect battery, ready to run. So the reason why it says ready to run is because I got the motor started that very next day. Maybe because it was like 15 degrees outside, and the battery just couldn't keep up with the cold. Maybe the oil was too thick. I don't know. I think we'll give it a test run here and see if we can. Let's check the oil in it. I just changed the oil a couple months ago, and the oil is perfectly clear and on the full mark. So we're good there. The oil is still like brand new. So we know it ain't the oil. Let's try this thing in manual mode and see if it starts. It started. But you notice it didn't start quite right away. So what it did do was Tried to start, it like gave a little bit of energy, cranked some more, and then it fired up. Usually these little generators, they fire up right away. Now, the last time I did the service on it, we cleaned the spark plugs and everything on it, air filter, oil change. Everything should be good. There should be nothing stopping this thing from running. I don't know how many hours is on it. Switched to off. Inspect. Says inspect battery again. So maybe it clocks the cranking speed. I don't know. So I think we'll inspect the battery. To get the sides off, to get to the battery, all you do is put your fingers in here and lift. And it comes right off. And your battery is located right in here. And it should be an R24. And the reason why I know that this is the original battery, because it comes from Battery Plus. And I don't buy nothing from Battery Plus because Battery Plus is high dollar. So I think we'll get a, I don't know if there's a date on this thing or not. Probably just put some test leads on it and check it right here. All right, let's test this thing out. And it's saying it's 13.97. That is the correct voltage for a charged battery. Let's start this thing up and see if it's charging. All right, then we shut it off, and it goes to 13.4. So if it's charging, it doesn't have a very strong charger. That's why it's probably got to run for a while. But it's showing that it's charged. So we see that the battery's charged. That doesn't mean that it still ain't weak. It's still cranking slow, and it's still giving me an indicator of inspect the battery. I do not know if this has a built-in battery charger that charges the battery when it's not in use. But anyways, what I want to do is take off the positive battery terminal and see if it has voltage at the wire or at the battery itself after. Well, I know it has power at the battery. Let's see if it has power at the thing that would indicate that it has a battery charger. Sometimes inside your disconnect, they come with a battery charger. This has been so long, I can't remember if it has one or not. So I installed this thing quite a few years ago. Comes right off of the meter and goes right up into the house and right on over and into the generator. It's fairly simple, and all the wires are run inside this conduit down inside. And I can't remember, I know some of these things do have built-in battery charges and some don't. So when it's not running, it's getting a trickle charge. And if it don't, I'm probably going to install a trickle charge on it anyways, just for peace of mind. I want this thing to start when my family is in need of electricity. And I mean, I can always put a jump pack on it and jump it, but if my wife is here by herself and the power goes out, I want this thing to start. So let's check that. You got to be careful because everything's metal in here. All right, let's Let's see if it has a battery charger. And yes, it does. It has a battery charger. 14.15. So this thing does have a trickle charger already on it. So that tells me the battery is probably getting low. Let's test just the battery. .58. So it's showing that it's up. It's warm today. It's going to be up in almost 60 degrees. But we've been having some extremely cold nights, and I think we're just going to go ahead and replace this battery, just for prosperity's sakes. You know what I mean? Because we can't have my wife going without any electricity when a storm hits. So I went ahead and pulled out this fuse, and that killed the battery charger. And I turned off the breaker here. Now I shouldn't have to turn that breaker off. Just for safety's sakes, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to undo that other terminal and pull that battery out, and we'll check the actual age on this battery and install the new one. All right, it's not easy getting the battery out. You got to lift up, pull it towards the grill, and then you can get this corner here out through here. I mean, it is tight, but it's doable. So this is a 26R battery. Probably, this is important. It says natural gas. Put that back in there. We'll get the new battery put in. All right, so here's the old battery. I do not see a date code on it. But it's not a 26R. It's just a straight 26, means the poles are reversed on it. But this is supposed to take a 26R, and that's what I got, a 26R. By inspections, I see there's swelling on the casing right here. Means this battery probably started to freeze. Means probably one of the cells is about dead. And if you notice, there's a little bit of dampness on this terminal right here, just a little bit. So it was probably swelling in this last. The sides of the back of the battery looks good, and this side of the battery looks pretty good. It's just this side right here. It's got a bulge in it. Means it's starting to swell. Means the battery is losing its charge in this one cell, and it allows this battery to freeze. And it got down real cold. I mean, we was down in the teens, and we keep this thing partially covered up. The heat from the furnace blows out here, and also the hot water heater. We have gas hot water heater, and we have a gas furnace, and the extra heat that comes from blows out here through that PVC pipe and helps keep this thing warm in the winter. Pretty smart fella, huh? Now I don't know how good it does, because we got a high efficiency furnace and hot water heater, and it uses PVC pipe, so it does tell me not very much heat comes out that pipe. But when you're out here, when it's cold, you can feel it's warm air comes out it. I don't know if it's enough to do anything with the generator or not. Forgive the heat pump running. I know it's making noise. Let's get this battery in here. Let's test it, get it all back together. So this battery comes from Walmart, and it has a date code on it, January 25. This is February now, so this battery's only a month old, and we'll see if we can't get this thing in there. Hopefully it goes in easier than the other one came out. That's my positive. I'm positive that's my positive. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my Sharpie and write on the top of it. As soon as I can find my Sharpie. Plus, minus. And it has it here too, but when it's down inside here, it's hard to see, even though we do got red and black cables. Let's get this thing up in there. This one actually slides in easier than the other one. Maybe that battery was wrong. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and get the positive one on. I'm positive we're going to get the positive one on there first, but I want to make sure that the negative one will reach. I'm sure it will. Got no sparks, so we're good. Now I want to test the condition of this battery before we even start the process. And we got 12.6. But it should have all its amperages in it. Now these batteries are made for a car. Even though this motor doesn't require a battery this size, Generac wants you to put a bigger battery in because for like life principles alone, you want something that's inside your generator to be better than what should be for this little motor. Let's go ahead and put the fuse back in. Turn the breaker on. And we'll probably have to reset the codes on it. But we're going to try it and see what happens. First, let's get my tools so they don't shake all over the place. All right, so I got everything clear. Let's put this into manual. All right, I think that's a success. Now we just got to reprogram the thing to get those fault codes off of there. And I'll show you how that's done. I've done that before on my other one on the changing the oil thing. It should be the same process here. But I will run through it. All right, switch to off. Enter twice. Enter. Switch to auto. Ready to run. So I think we got this one nipped. We can put this thing back together now. We got a brand new battery in it. It's 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. That battery, it's time to replace it. This thing's been a good generator, and I need to keep up on the maintenance on it. Definitely is cranking over a lot faster, and she starts up pretty good. I'll probably take that battery in the shop and I'll put it on the bench charger, and we'll see. That might make a, maybe I just got to use it for a core for the charge for the Pinto battery. I don't know. I got a few batteries laying around here. If I mean, it's still starting the generator, but this thing is a low cranking amp generator. I mean, it doesn't take much power to get this thing to turn. All right, to get your side put back on, you put your 2 pins in first. Kind of. Gotta do both sides though. Close the lid. And we should have clear lights now. Oh, all green. We're good to go. Let's turn back on. No more red blinking light, no more yellow light. She's ready for service until the next oil change, which is coming up. I probably wrote it down on the, I usually write them down on the oil filter or right on something that I can see. I could probably just look back at my old video. Hey, sometimes you ain't got to call the generator guy. Sometimes you can do it yourself. And most of these batteries, they got not an expiration date, but a date they were put in there. And they're usually only good for, like this battery you put in there, the warranty is only good for a year. And the fact that this one lasted 5 years tells you that it's not really getting that much abuse. And it's got a trickle charger on it that helps maintain the battery's life for longer than normal, which is a good thing. I love this generator. It's been a blessing to our family. When it's working, it works hard. This is a 14 kW, and it powers up my entire house. Now, I don't run nothing in the garage when it's on, but we do have my daughter's RV, and hers is total electric. We don't run the hot tub when it's on or anything like that, but just the basic necessities. It runs my AC. It runs my AC. God bless each and every one of you. Remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Man, we got that thing up and running. I'm telling you. You can do these things. This is not that hard. It's not complicated. Just because it says 12.5 or 13 point something doesn't mean the battery's weak. It might not have the cranking amps. God bless you. I'll see you on the next Fixing Things with Pastor Bill. That thing is fixed. That's what I'm talking about. I got to pick up this mess and go work on the Pinto.